I hate heights. As somebody once said, follow that. Well, I'm not going to even try. I'm actually going to try going a totally different direction. Following the referendum, I actually saw reports in the media and on the BBC, and I have to tell you, I was shocked. Because none of them seemed to have the faintest idea of what we just agreed to. And they're still at it. The BBC, under its constitution or charter, basically says it's supposed to be impartial. They've decided they don't have to be impartial. Some of the papers, we're getting ridiculous stories about things. And I actually want you to take some action about it. Because the only way they will listen is if it costs them money. We just want a Brexit. So what I would ask you to do is, we all know how the BBC used to be one of the most trusted mediums in the world. It's now down that only 22% of the UK population actually trust the BBC, and it's getting worse. They don't seem to be bothered about this, and why should they? They can float merrily along, avoiding tax, getting paid by the well, they do get paid some from the European Union, but most of it comes from the licence fee, which the BBC doesn't seem to recognise is a poll tax. It's actually a poll tax. And if you remember how against Margaret Thatcher they were when she tried to put a poll tax in place, yet they're quite happy to live off one themselves. Such a hypocrisy really shouldn't be supported. There is a complaints procedure. You can write to the BBC and say you're not happy with what they've said and be specific about it. And if they don't come back with something sensible and you're not happy with their response, then there's is it the BBC Trust that you can write to? But look up the complaints procedure on the internet. The same with papers. If you're not happy with what they're reporting, write to them. And when they reply to you, if you're not happy with the reply, send a complaint to the Press Commission. And if we do that, and if we ask other people in other areas, because everybody's now on social media, apart from probably me, so ask people, please go on social media, talk to your friends, and if you're not happy with what's being reported or the way it's being reported, tell them. And actually, one of the things we should be doing is, if we're not happy with what the BBC is doing and doesn't reflect what this country is about, then we should be writing to our MP and the BBC Commission or the BBC Trust and asking for their fees to be reduced. Why should we pay them for upsetting us? I've actually stopped watching some BBC programmes because my wife was worried about me because I ended up shouting at the screen. I'm not sure she was frightened of me breaking the television, or actually that I might have a heart attack, probably the breaking the television more. So I can't do it because I don't watch the programmes anymore because I got so fed up with them. So please watch them. If you're not happy, write a complaint. You can look up on the internet the right procedure so you know exactly who to send it to. So please do that. We need to get out. The way the EU is behaving at the moment, it looks as though it's going to be us just leaving because they're not prepared to offer us anything sensible. They don't want a trade deal with us. They want us to stick with the trade deal we've got and be governed by the EU institutions. It's not on. So please, take my advice, write your complaints, and eventually we will get out, and let's get our freedom back. Thank you.